Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here, and in this video we're going to be doing my November book haul, and I need to get going on the book hauls because I need to put them on the shelves because I keep them kind of like a separate spot just until I like do the video or whatever, and then I kind of put them on whatnot. And I gotta think 8 nature books, big surprise there. That was the theme for November apparently. But yeah, I actually bought some. For once, I bought myself not even just a new book, a new set of books for January's book haul. Whenever I get to that, hopefully the first week of February. But yeah, you might want to follow my Instagram for that because I hardly ever buy new books, but really excited about those. I'll be super excited to share them and whatnot. But let's just go ahead and get started with this one. All right, so we're gonna start off with 2 of these Oxford very short introductions that I talk about all the time on the channel and whatnot. And I've been doing pretty good reading about one a month on a bunch of different topics. These 2 just happen to be nature ones, but actually these are kind of where I start branching out to like kind of the more, I guess, more intellectual or just kind of like other stuff that I'm trying to get interested in, if that makes any sense. So I just finished one on postmodernism, and it was about what you'd expect from a very short introduction to postmodernism. But anyways, I have these 2, and this one is marine biology, which I actually have already read. I think I read this one in December. This one was actually really good. This is like one of the best ones I've actually read from the. I mean, like I said, I'd say generally it's a good series, but there are some, it does. When you got an 800 book, man, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably like around 600 or 700, anyways. You got that many books, obviously, they're not all gonna be bangers. But anyways, Marine Biology by Philip Mladinov. It was really good. Just really enjoyed it. I'll probably talk more about it in my wrap-up video for December if I do it. But the other one is Climate by Mark Maslin. I've read, I think, one on global warming. There's one on like global catastrophes, and then there's like the Earth and like Earth system science and stuff. So we're gonna see how this one is a little bit different from like climate change. I think this is just gonna be more of the more general, just climatology type stuff. But anyways, good stuff. Hopefully it pans out to be really good. Alright, next up was a bunch of used books that I picked up that I didn't know like a whole lot about per se, but they were a couple dollars each, and I was like, interesting enough. And the first one we have The Human Age, The World Shaped by Us by Diane Ackerman. Probably most famous for The Zookeeper's Wife, though she has like a whole slew of like works that she has written and stuff. And this seems to be all about the Anthropocene and sort of how humanity is changing the planet for better or worse. Probably mostly worse, if I had to guess. And so sort of how maybe we are changing kind of along like evolutionary lines and stuff based on like how we are, running the show on planet Earth, and just all kinds of stuff like that. I'm assuming, I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's a big name author, but I haven't actually read any of her other stuff, so we'll see if that one pans out. And next up, and this was a minor thing in this video, so we're going to be looking at a lot of the quotes from the back of the book, just because there's so many references that I liked from them, and that's partly why I pick up books sometimes if I see a bunch of authors that also recommend the work that I guess like especially in the nature circle, it's kind of small, so like kind of like when you have a couple that you like, if they really like a book too, the chances are you're gonna like it as well. And this one is The Earth Moved on the Remarkable Achievements of Earthworms by Amy Stewart, because who doesn't want to read a book on earthworms? But Sue Hubble was one of the snippets on the back of the book, and I have 2 of her books, and I've finished one, Broadsides from the Other Orders here, a book of bugs that I thoroughly enjoyed, so I figure I'll probably enjoy this one as well. And it's, like I said, it's all about sort of earthworms and how they are important to kind of, soil health and probably just general ecosystem health as well. And actually Charles Darwin wrote a book on earthworms as well back in the 1800s that, maybe someday I'll get to and things. But yeah, annelids, probably actually pretty cool. It's kind of like, I like kind of taking the deep dives on like specific species and stuff, or at least I guess families and genuses. Like, I mean, earthworms, not exactly sure like what a technical like earthworm is. I don't know if it's just a single species. We're talking about like all kinds of worms and stuff, but there we go. Next up, if I can pick it up, is Sightlines, which is one I've seen. I think it won the John Burroughs Medal, I believe, which is one of the big nature writing awards that is sort of out there from like 4 or 5 years ago. And it's Sightlines, A Conversation with the Natural World by Kathleen Jamie. And one of the snippets on the back, this person called, I don't know the person, but called Kathleen Jamie a sorceress of the essay form. And I do know this book is sort of all about a bunch of different vignettes, kind of like memoirish vignettes of just sort of her I don't know if researches is the right word, but where she accompanies like other researchers or scientists or kind of her own just observations and things on the natural world, whether that's like under the microscope or out in the field, things like that. And she kind of combines it all into just this like kind of memoir-ish natural history vignette thing. I'm not 100% sure. That was probably a terrible description, but like I said, it won some award. Hopefully it was the John Burroughs Medal, because that's what I said it was, but there are other nature writing awards as well. But like I said, I saw this one for, I think it was like $2.50, and I was like, well, I'm definitely gonna pick it up because I might as well read all the, award books for nature writing in my life, right? Because I don't have enough pressure to read as it is. But moving on, we have one I've been meaning to get to for a while. Is Brenda Peterson's Wolf Nation: The Life, Death, and Return of Wild American Wolves. I finished Coyote America last summer, I believe it was last summer, 2021. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. And from what I understand, this is sort of like the same type of book, kind of like a cultural history of wolves. I mean, obviously that one was about coyotes, this one's going to be about wolves, but sort of a cultural history of wolves and sort of how Americans, or like, I don't know if it's, I assume it's just the United States, but it might be like all of North America and stuff. Just sort of how we've treated wolves and, the kind of the ups and downs with that. Hopefully, I'm hoping, like the Yellowstone Park, reintroduction, where we brought wolves back to Yellowstone, and how the trophic cascade has done remarkable things over there, and it's kind of like a highlight, of bringing like apex predators back to like certain ecosystems and stuff around the world and everything. I'm hoping that gets like a big kind of like highlight, because I would like to read a lot more about that. It's often referenced in a lot of works and stuff, but I've never done an actual like deep dive just like on that topic. And as for references, like I was saying, Carl Safina, which is going to be an author, I'm going to try to read his whole bibliography. Reading one of his books right now, The Eye of the Albatross. Really liked it. And Cy Montgomery, famous for, I have it in alphabetical order, Soul of an Octopus, among a lot of other works. Really famous. Also, really love this book. And like I said, I think Coyote America and Wolf Nation would be kind of a cool, kind of like duo. And I think there's actually another wolf one, like maybe it's American Wolf or something like that. But anyways, like I said, I think it's gonna be a cool, just sort of, just overview of like kind of the history of wolves in North America, and hopefully pans out to be a really fun read. Alright, next up is a book by Thor Hansen. I've read 2 of his works so far, and his review of Hurricane Lizards and Plastic Squid will be coming down the pipeline in just a couple of weeks. I really enjoyed that book, and I also read his Triumph of Seeds. And this one is feathers, so it's all about kind of the scientific and evolutionary history of feathers and things like that, which at first sounds kind of weird, like, who wants to read the whole book on feathers, but there's actually a lot of cool stuff kind of going on. Before I forget the references here, we got Peter Matheson, who wrote The Snow Leopard, which I'm trying to find a Follow Society edition of it. Really good author. Bernd Heinrich, probably my favorite author, nature author anyways. Really enjoyed it. So a bunch of cool people like that. But anyways, feathers, just for example, the whole dinosaur thing, almost all dinosaurs now, or a vast majority of them had feathers and stuff, and how feathers were first just kind of appeared through evolution, not for flight per se, but actually probably for like heat regulation and things like that. And then they kind of, like nature took its course and, kind of made flight possible with feathers as well. But they seem to be like, they're kind of a cool, unique kind of physical adaptation that, obviously like birds have now, but, dinosaurs had them and stuff as well. But yeah, like I said, kind of a weird structure in a lot of ways, but you know, just really unique in how like nature has used it. So I think it might be actually a really cool book, and I'll learn more about feathers. And lastly, it's just kind of an intro-ish book that I didn't know anything about, but I just like read the description actually, and I was like, yeah, I'm picking that up. And it's The Last Whalers: 3 Years in the Far Pacific with a Courageous Tribe and a Vanishing Way of Life by Doug Clark. And this is a book where the author went and lived with this tribe on this island for a few years, and they're apparently like still do like really like traditional whale hunting, which, you know, I'm not a fan of whale hunting, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to just see like a different perspective on like kind of what's going on. And I'm pretty sure the book is not going to just be about, you know, killing whales and stuff. Just because I've read, see, I got The Whale here. I got The War of the Whales. I read Fathoms, The Breath of the Whale. I think I read 4. Well, maybe not. I didn't read them all last year, but I think in the past like 2 years I read about 6 or 7 books on whales. I've gone whale watching, but didn't see any whales. It's kind of sad. But I'm going again this year, so I will see some whales, hopefully. But anyways, random like tangent there. Like I said, I don't know anything about the book except, you know, just kind of the description over here. And, you know, I think it's going to be kind of a cool, like, kind of, just like I said, it's going to be more of like kind of an anthropology sort of work. Kind of looking at different like modes and ways of life, and kind of like, you know, your sort of place in nature and stuff like that. Hopefully it pans out to be pretty fun as well. I think I said that for about 4 of the 8 books or something like that. That was just the phrase of the day apparently. But let me know what you think of any of these books, and let me know if you can remember what your favorite book you got in November is. Leave a comment down below. I'm going to start a spreadsheet of like all the recommendations I get. That way when I actually pick them up from like people I actually know where I got it from, so I can actually like thank them, stuff like that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop. I'm narrowing in on 500 sales. That's actually pretty cool. I got Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of good stuff. And whatever you end up reading in the rest of the month of January, read victoriously.